Hey everybody, welcome back to Research Bourbon. I'm DMC from Louisville, Kentucky. Recently I noticed I had a lot of cask strength rye whiskeys sitting around my bar and on my shelves. Some of them I've reviewed, some of them I've talked about, but I really hadn't paired them all up against each other, so I thought I might do a small bracket challenge here just to pick what my favorite rye whiskey is, especially cask strength ryes. And these are all MGP distilled ryes from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And I'm going to take the winner of these four and move it on to the next round and pair it up against a handful of other cask strength rye whiskeys that I have that are not MGP, and see what my preference is. So clearly there's other MGP rye whiskeys out there on the market. Like I say, these are ones I happen to have. Some of them I've had for a while. Some of them are recent acquisitions. But I'll just go down the line, and they're all remarkably close in proof also. So starting here, I've got Sagamore Rye Cask Strength. Comes in at 112.2 proof, 56.1% alcohol. And this is, on their website, says barrels that are aged 4 to 7 years. So we'll just call this a 4-year-old rye. And it is also a mix of the two rye mash bills that MGP primarily uses. The 95.5 rye mash bill, 95% rye, 5% malted barley, and the 51% rye mash bill, which also has 45% corn and 4% malted barley. So barely legal rye. So they don't tell you what the percentage of the mix is, but it is a mix of the two. Second up is Rossville Union. So this is MGP's own brand, and it is bottled by themselves. So they distill it there in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. This comes in at 56.3% or 112.6 proof. And this is also a mix of the 51% rye mash bill and the 95% rye mash bill. They don't tell you the mix. And this is just age stated as a 4-year rye also. So these two pretty similar in statistics. Moving over here, I've got a Pinhook single barrel. And this is from the Tis Rye Time Vertical Series. So this is the 4-year release. And this comes in at 56.45% or 112.9 proof. And so this is also 4 years, and this is the only single barrel in the mix. All right, and this is the all of the 95.5 mash bill from MGP. Next up, I've got the Senator Barrel Proof Straight Rye Whiskey, and this comes in at 57.4% or 114.8. I believe this is the highest proof by a hair. And this is aged and bottled by Proof and Wood out of Bardstown, Kentucky. And this is also all 95.5 mash bill from MGP. This is not a single barrel though. This is going to be a batched product. So they're all very similar. Yeah, I keep saying MGP from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Rossville Union was the original name of the distillery there back in the 1800s. It's had several names over the years, including the Seagram's Distillery back in the 80s, 90s, MGP, and now I believe they have actually renamed it to the Ross and Squibb Distillery. So they acquired Luxco, and so when they did that, they kind of changed their branding to Ross and Squibb. But this is a couple years old, and this just says the Rossville Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So, all right, we're gonna call this Class A, B, C, D across the board. I'm gonna go through, give them a nose, give them a taste. We'll do a second round of tasting, and I'll tell you what my favorites are today. Starting with Class A. All right, definitely picking out some rye spices on the nose on this one. A little bit of caramel. Got a little bit of that rye bread type breadiness. So, Class B. And maybe a little bit of vanilla on this one. Very light on the nose. So, let's see. This one's the most rye forward so far. A hint of like a mint or evergreen type of aroma coming through. Yeah, nice nose. Class D. Oh wow. This actually smells more like a gingerbread. So it has some baked bread aromas on it. So with some cinnamon and whatever spices are in gingerbread. Very pleasant. More like a gingerbread cookie, I guess. You know, not necessarily gingerbread like a house, but gingerbread cookie, gingerbread, you know, in that sense. So this might have been my favorite nose. Yeah, B's the lightest nose of the batch. A and C are very similar, and D was very pleasant. Go through and give it a round of tasting. Cheers, Class A. All right, that definitely had some cinnamon, some warmth in the middle of that sip, going to the finish. The start of the sip was pretty light. Yeah, cinnamon and warmth on that. Very, very nice sip. Class B. Cheers. All right, B has some oak on it, a little bit of dryingness on this one that I didn't get on A. The spice came later, but I'd say it's the same amount of spice, same amount of warmth. So, good sip, but the oak's what stands out on B. Class C, cheers. All right, C is definitely spicier than the first two. It's got a lot of different spices on it. So it has some cinnamon spice, borderline, you know, black peppery spice, but it's got some other baking spice in there too. Yeah, that mintiness, just a hint, whisper of mintiness. I get on the nose. I'm not getting on the taste. So, but I do still get that on the nose on C. All right, first sip on Class D. Cheers. All right, it's different than the other ones. It's got a lot of spice on it also, and sometimes that is a buildup of spices as I go across. So when I go the next round, I'll go through in reverse order. But I said this one had more, or the most of a baked bread taste on it with that spice. I know I got a gingerbread on the nose, getting oak on the nose, tiny bit of oak on the taste. Finish is pretty long on this, but once again, that could be a buildup. So, and I haven't been cleansing my palate. I know some people ask me why I don't. So maybe I'll try to cleanse my palate in between next time also. But yeah, all very similar so far. You know, on the nose, these two seem very similar. On the taste, I think these two seem similar. You know, so these guys seem to be different for sure, but nothing really standing out as better or worse than anything so far. So it's going to be tough to split hairs on this. So yeah, so I'm going to cover these up, let them sit for 10 minutes or so. You know, try to get some aromas built back up in there, and I'll come back and taste them again. So hang tight. Alright, welcome back for round 2 of my MGP Cask Strength tasting. Hope you hit that like, hit subscribe if you haven't hit subscribe, leave some comments down below. All that stuff helps, greatly appreciated. I'm going to go through and do these in reverse order. Glass D, start with Glass D, give it a taste, give it a quick nose, give it a taste, and I'll try to speed through this. I still get, it's a sweet, baked good on this, so whether it's a gingerbread or not, may be debatable, but it is some sort of a cake cookie smell on this, so more than just a bread. Cheers. All right, that's a great sip, everything I like. The spice comes late. Doesn't really have any sweetness. Has a little bit of oak, a little bit of vanilla. Has that cinnamon, a little bit of warmth. You know, nothing really overpowering. All very nice, well-rounded. So, you know, nice sip. A couple bits of info I might have left out too. I mentioned the proof and wood that's bottling the Senator is out of Barstown, Kentucky. Pinhook is actually aging and having this bottled at MGP there in Frankfort, Kentucky. So it's actually in Woodford County, I believe. But I believe they say it's in Frankfort. So, you know, this is the old H. Taylor distillery there along the river. And it's MGP. And Sagamore, I didn't mention, is in Maryland. So, and, you know, Rossville Union is MGP itself, or Ross and Squibb, which is in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So we've got, you know, Barstown, Frankfort, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and Maryland. So this is where these things are being aged and bottled at. So, all right, go in and give Glass C a quick nose taste. All right, I believe this one is the spiciest. I think when I went through in order from your left to right, I believe the spice built up on this and it kind of overpowered this one when I got to it. So coming back through, this one definitely was not as spicy. This one has that evergreen note on the nose, not on the taste. It has a good cinnamon, good punch to it and all that. So, wow, this is going to be tough. Very, very nice on that one. So, all right, second taste of B. All right, there was a little sweet on this one, but it definitely has some oak dryiness, just a little bit of spice. You know, all pretty muted, a little bit of warmth. Maybe more warmth than I got on D, honestly. So, but and just the amount of that cinnamon, the level of that oak dryiness. I'm not saying it's unpleasant oak dryness, but it's not the level that I like. It's a little bit drying. This guy's definitely behind the others so far. So, all right, second taste of Glass A. All right, spicier than B was for sure. Good warmth, good finish. All right, let me go through, do some A/Bs, comparisons here, and see how I rank these. It's going to be tough. Pretty sure C is going to be the winner. You know, that nose on D that I really liked initially. It's coming across is very bready at this point. All right. So C is going to be my winner today. Move on to the next round. B was last place. Splitting hairs between A and D, but I'm putting A in second place and D in third. All right, let's go through and do a quick reveal. Fourth place today is the Sagamore. So it surprises me. Been real happy with the Sagamore bottles I've had this year. I've had several, and I think if I was just sitting around in an evening sipping this, I would be so content. I think this is, I think it's mellow, it's easygoing, it's a little muted. None of those are bad things. But I think just doing this cask strength battle, it's too muted. The other ones are overpowering it. So, I'm actually surprised the Sagamore is in fourth place. Third place, Pinhook. So, Pinhook. This is the single barrel. This is the one that's Castle and Key. And this was the one that had the gingerbread nose, but now it's just more of a bready nose. So, I didn't know. That doesn't surprise me, or not. That neither surprises me or doesn't surprise me. I really didn't have an opinion on that, guys. So, but like I say, splitting hairs between it and my second place. Second place is the Senator. So this guy over here. This is the oldest age statement. It actually is a 6-year age statement. This one is the highest proof. I think this guy actually was the closest to C, which is my winner here. I think A and C were similar on the nose, similar on the taste, similar on the spiciness and all that. So, but C won out. So. And this is Rossville Union, so love it. So while we do the blinds here, folks, I actually did not expect this to win. I thought one of the other three. Could have been any of the three. I probably in my head had pegged it was either going to be Sagamore or the Senator. So I'm surprised. Surprise Sagamore came in last. But there's our winner today, Rossville Union. Moving on to the next round with some of my other cask strength ryes. So we'll see how MGP fares with some other ryes from around the country. So cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, all bourbon is whiskey and all whiskey is not bourbon. Kentucky makes the best bourbon. And I'd like to say Kentucky makes the best ryes. These are all from Indiana. So let's see in the next round who makes the best ryes. Cheers.